Hey guys, what's going on? Jimmy the Owl here. Welcome to Wayfinder Wednesdays episode 14, and we're going to go through the Eventide event in its entirety from start to finish. I know I've already given my thoughts and opinions on it and kind of talked about it in detail, but we're going to go from start to finish on my journey through it, as well as talking about some of the changes at 0.2. Without further ado, let's jump straight into this. First things first, the game is going to get you to go run around Skylight and talk to all the people, Lord Harler, the girl in front of the teleporter, Venji, everyone. You got to talk to them. Once you've done this, they're going to go tell you to go kill Plunderfoot in the in the Highlands, sorry. And this is the first main change you'll see within the game. You'll see that everything is Christmasified, everything is snowy, everything is all happy, the sounds are different, everything is changed. This is part of the 0.2 change for the sound, obviously. Weapons feel better, the game sounds better, attacks sound better, and everything like that. But mostly the Christmas soundtrack and everything is a sublime chill, I would say, that adds to the atmosphere of Eventide. But once you get here, this is the first global event we've had that has a very big emphasis on community, because Plunderfoot is a world event that happens out in the open that you'll see loads of people. I think now it's kind of died down. You don't see as many people. He's not as worth as much anymore. But you need him to go get the stuff to get into the Christmas event. So if you can and you do have enough of his lures, I would recommend grinding him for a hot minute. But once you've killed him and you downed him, again, it's going to tell you to go back to Skylight, and your first proper quest into an actual difference in the game is to go complete free challenges within the Eventide. Just while we move into the expeditions, I just want to quickly throw out the fact that I've only just realized this now after someone commented on my video that some of the footage is choppy and laggy, and it wasn't doing it when the game was live, and I've only just noticed it now. There's nothing I can do about it. It's probably something in my OBS that's causing issues that I'm going to have to look at in the future. I'm just here to apologize in advance. It only happens in like 1 or 2 expeditions, but yeah, it does happen. Sorry. Expedition. This expedition is pretty fun. I talked about it before in my last video. It's a fun expedition. The place is inside the Riva Woods, but very much condensed, shortened, and made much more of a better experience. Like I said in my last video as well, this is kind of what I'm hoping for from now on. More short, condensed runs and stuff. I think the longer dungeons and the longer expeditions are not as fun as like Codex Hall or the pits and stuff like that. I think the Riva Woods areas are way too open and big with way too much empty space, and I will preach this until the day I die. I think it was a mistake making it so open with not a lot of stuff to do in it, with just lots of dead ends. This kind of fixes the Riva Woods problem, where it's the same aesthetic and everything, except there's a lot more stuff to do in such a short room that it feels like you're always doing something. You're not just running through empty space, not killing anything, not achieving anything. It's really good. Also, while you're running through this and doing all the events that you run past, like destroying the cubes, using the fireflies to open chests and destroying crystals, you'll find that there's a shopkeeper. This is an interesting aspect of the game that I hope isn't just a one-off for this event, but is actually a big thing going forward. In dungeon, shopkeepers would be a really cool thing that sells you dungeon-specific items, or, for example, let it be that like there's like certain currency you can get within the expeditions, and you use those currencies or items to buy boxes or just the items itself from materials you can find in that expedition. For example, how this shopkeeper works is you get certain items and you can give it to him. He'll give you certain things, like there's generic gifts will just get you generic items, like a mutation, one of the things to upgrade your weapons / characters, some gloom shards. They don't give anything big or different. Where the boss of this, which we'll get to in a minute, gives you his fur. That fur will always give you 2 pots, so on and so forth. They always give something specific, and if they use this in the future, it would be nice to get whatever the next big currency like mat is that we need. Right now, the big ones are the the trickster coins, the bones, and the orbs, right? Those are the 3 big currency mats that we need to progress through a lot of things that are very hard to get and grind. And with this, you would be able to put them in the dungeon with specific items that you can find within the dungeon, like a drop from the boss, for example, or something else that you can get while running through the dungeon that's like a rare drop or whatever. You could trade it into him, and then he would give you a chest, and it'd be like 3 trickster coins, like 2 bones or something. so on and so forth. And you can only use it once every dungeon run, so you can just sit there and spam it consistently. Like in this, you can only give him one gift to run, and then you have to leave. Once you've done that, you can then enter into the boss fight, which is the Abominus. I'm pretty sure his name was. I was right with Abominus. The Abominus is the same fight that you fight in the Reaver Woods. I'm pretty sure. He's just snowified. I'm pretty sure there's a fight at the end of one of the Reaver Woods areas. It might be the last one that gives you this fight, but this one's more snowed and stuff. But he is practically the same as that fight. So, or you could also put him as one of the Yetis that you find out in the opening Reaver's Woods as well. They're pretty much the same thing. He's just been bossified now, and he doesn't pose much of a threat. You can just get him done pretty quickly, pretty easily, but he will drop his pelt, and his pelt/fur is what you use to get pots from the shopkeeper in this area. Doing this will take you on to the next part of the quest, which annoyingly is just enter the Eventide expedition and kill the boss again, which is kind of annoying that they do it in this order. It's go through it and do the quests, like do the events, and now it's go through it and do the dungeon as normal. It's just weird that they've gone for it that way, but I guess it's just more padding, if anything, to make the event a bit longer. But now you just gotta go through the dungeon and do all your stuff, and then go instantly just kill the Abominus at the end, and that will get that part of the quest done, leading us to the Huntsmaster, who will tell us that we've got to go fight the Winter Queen. Once you do this, you just go craft the Winter Queen fragment, which you have to craft every single time you want to fight it. It's not like a normal fragment that you would normally get in the game, where you craft it once and then you just have access to the boss. I'm hoping this doesn't become the norm. I'm really hopeful. The crafting part of this event is annoying, but it's fine because it's an event. You deal with it because it's a different part of the event. Like, if this becomes the norm within the game, I will not be happy, because I don't want to be crafting items to get into dungeons and to get into boss fights and stuff. That doesn't feel fun to me in the slightest. I want to be able to one time craft something and then enter it, and then that be it. I don't mind doing it for an event because it pads the event out and it makes the event go on a bit longer, and it makes certain effects on the events, like for example the social part of the event of killing Plunderfoot, or whatever his name is, Plunderfoot, more of a needed thing. But I don't want that to be the norm going forward, especially when it has a tendency, like for example the first 3 days, it was broken, it didn't get fixed till Monday. Plunderfoot wouldn't spawn consistently and stuff. So like, I'm hoping this isn't the norm. I definitely do not want this to be the norm. If this is ever used, it should be used for raids. I'm hoping this is what the test is for, to be honest. This is how you should be able to enter raids, where you have to craft stuff. This is the only time it should be used, and it shouldn't be used in the normal setting. But anyway, you enter the Winter Queen fight. Winter Queen fight is the spider fight that you first fight in the first boss in the base game, except it has an extra mechanic to it. You see these snowballs, you've got to roll them. It took me a while to figure this out. I didn't really get what was going on, but you got to roll it until it's a max snowball. I'm thrown out there now, yeah. It took me a long while to learn what the fuck was going on with these snowballs. But literally all you do is you just roll them up, and then you shoot them at them or knock it into the spider, and it'll break a stance, and then you can go back to being ham on it. It took me a while to figure this out. Way too long. I think it was like not until like my third play session I was like, what do these snowballs actually do? When I played around with them, I was like, oh, this is what they do. They actually hurt the boss somehow. I thought you had to attack him. I didn't really get it, but now I do. But about the boss itself, there's literally nothing different from the actual boss you fight in the base game, except from the snowball mechanic. Goes down without a cinch, and with that, the Winter Queen falls. With this, you're told to pass out the meat of the Spider Queen to all the needy civilians in Skylight. And that's what you do. You just run around. Some of them are thankful. Some of them are like, ooh, spider meat. I mean, I'm grateful, but like, spider meat? I'll cut this web off it from its ass off instead. It's like, go fuck yourself, dude. I just killed a spider for you to eat this Christmas. Like, just fucking eat the meat and stop being a bitch boy about it. But yeah, you run around, you give all the meat to the needy civilians, and then she has you deliver gifts to all of like the main characters inside Skylight, which is like the Huntsmaster, Omen, the guy like the guy that sells you and takes your accessories off you, Lord Harson or whatever his name is, the guy that is like all the gloom expert stuff, and they all give you a gift to give back to her. which is pretty nice, and she gets really happy about that. And with that, the main quest line for the Christmas event is done and dusted, with some side quests left to do and one side quest that is base game as well, which was a nice addition to have. I like to see that when we do events, we're still getting stuff for the base game, which is pretty nice. But first off, I go to my apartment to try out all the Christmas stuff you get, because while you've been questing, you've been getting given Christmas related items to put in your apartment. They're not much, it's just like some twizzles, some twazzles, and some Christmas lights and stuff. I try and do my apartment up pretty good, make it look pretty nice, pretty clean. I'm pretty sure they give you a fox plushie as well, which is just the most adorable thing ever. Nothing beats this plushie. I mean, look at this plushie. It is fucking adorable. The first side quest we go to partake in is Bitters for the End, where we just gotta go to watch a rise and lower Skylight to start this one off with a bang. After talking to her, she's gonna tell you that there's a noise in lower Skylight, and we have to investigate. Investigating it brings up a goblin that we just insta-kill. Goblins aren't normally in lower Skylight, so it's off to speak to her again. Her telling us to go back to all the way over to the Crossroad Foundries to go speak to Lookout Fuller, so that we can get the next part of the quest moving. He just sends us on a wild goose chase, following footsteps, looking for a hat. Apparently, that was somewhere the goblin took. The next part just made me giggle a little, because I very rarely read the dialogue that's going on within these games. I kind of wish I read more of the dialogue to understand what's going on, but eventually someone will show me a video about all the going-ons within Wayfinder, and I can keep up with the lore that way. But the top and tail of this thing is apparently hat repair people are a delicacy in this world. There's not many left of them. And I found that funny because they couldn't just give them a name of anything. Like, you know, I don't know, tailor, seamstress, leather worker, cloth worker, just anything at all. No, hat repair man is like the name title they're giving these people, which I just found really funny to me. I don't know why, but you gotta go back to Skylight to go find the hat repair person that is 1 in a million within this world. But what does keep happening, which kind of started to annoy me a little, every now and again randomly when you would fast travel or go from Highlands to Skylight and stuff like that, it would keep popping up with the limited time event Eventide. I don't know if this is fixed now or not, or if this was an intended thing, but it popped up a lot when you went into a loading screen and came out, and it is very annoying. And I wish it would stop doing that. Taking the hat to the Christmas shopkeeper, who is also a hat repairman, which is interesting. She tells us we need to go back into the Eventide Vale and start with another run through the Christmas-based adventure. This one has a marker on it that didn't break in any way, which was nice. Markers in this game are very fickle and very likely to break, but it didn't this time, so it was nice. You just follow the marker. Once you get to the marker, there's a group of enemies there. That was for me anyway, and killing it would give you what they needed to fix it. It was like a glacial goober or something like that, and that gives you the item to fix the current one that is broken in Skylight, I think. I don't know, you return the designed hat to him, and like, I don't know if she fixes the old one or just gives him the new one. Couldn't really tell you. Another quick run for the Abominus will take us out of the Eventide event straight back into Skylight, and we can hand that quest in and finish off that story. Giving him the hat at the very end shows that it's the Christmas hat that everyone gets if you just go buy it from the store. They just use that one there. But yeah, that's the end of that quest. On to the next side quest is Season's Eating is next up. Speaking to Ruby, I think it's Ruby. Speaking to Ruby will take you on and off onto this quest line. She's going to tell you to go talk to Warden Hash about missing supplies. Once you go speak to her, she is located in Lower Skylight in the Highlands. She's going to go tell you to go locate Watcher Gunther. Watcher Gunther is in the abandoned shack that is like the first checkpoint after Skylight. You have to walk there. Taking one of the zip lines will take you straight past them, and there's no way to jump off them anymore. I think that got patched out, so I just had to zip straight past them. Going to Watcher Gunther, he will tell you that you need to go kill goblins and steal their supplies. Stealing the supplies is the easy part. Killing the goblins is the more awkward part because none of them are covering the supplies. I'm going with because it's an open world quest. There's just too many people clearing them out and stuff. So you just gotta run around and try and find some goblins of your own to kill. Any goblin will do the trick. If there's no goblins at the usual locations, the best place to go is to the other end of the Highlands where the goblins are usually located. There's a whole bunch of them there. There's fire mage ones, normal ones, archers. They're all located there. So just teleporting over there will get the job done, and then you teleport back to Watcher Gunther. He's then going to send you on a wild goose chase to go find a missing secret stash in the Codex Hall's breach. But before I finished that quest, I saw that the maw was spawned in. This is a worm boss that was pretty fucking lackluster and boring in pre-version 0.2, and they've kind of reworked the boss to make it more interesting and cool, and I would say they've achieved it. I went in halfway through the fight, so I couldn't tell you the full thing, but from what I saw, it generally does seem a big improvement to what we were fighting before. He's no longer a boring fucking turd that just stands there and goes, "Firing my lasers!" He actually does something. He's there doing shit, peeping in and out the ground. He no longer just teleports to the 3 locations and does his business. Seems like an actual unique and interesting boss fight, and I'm kind of glad that they've changed him. Moving back to Codex Hall. Going underneath the stairs and interacting with a piece of paper will get the quest done, telling you to return to Grim Knuckle Crag and Skyline. Doing all the chit-chat and chit-chalk will tell you to go to the Eventide Vale once again to finish this quest off, which is one of the funner parts of this quest line. You go into the Eventide Vale and you go look for a big pot. Putting the food into the big pot will spawn goblins in the Eventide Vale, and you got to defend the pot. Each round is each item you put into the pot, with the third one giving you the biggest, baddest enemies of them all. But because it's a low-level, event, there's not really that much to write home about. After killing all the goblins that have ever stood in the way of you and your food, you add your spices, your food, your mixes, your munches, all the good stuff. You then collect your dishes and leave, just going back to kill the Abominus once again, putting him down in the ground. And you get out into Skylight once again. Finishing that quest, I'm pretty sure, is the last side quest for the live event. I couldn't find any more if there was any more. So that takes us to the last part of the update, which isn't part of the Eventide, but finding courage is the next quest that they added in with this update by looks of it. I've never seen it before, so I'm just going to have to go with it was added. But first, I've bought the Christmas helmet, and I'm getting my swag on, changing my colors. I go for this white and blue aesthetic with a black trousers. I think it really suits Silo a lot with a gun that, another blue gun. It kind of goes all well and nice gels together, and I do like this. I do prefer the old, cosmetic I did buy, but because you can't have anything on with that cosmetic, it's not like an outfit that you can customize and change. It's a one unit fits all situation. I can't really change in and out of it, and I have to go with the generic Silo stuff, just with the Christmas helmet on. But there was some stuff I did have. I'm going from a battle pass, or maybe from buying the deluxe edition of the game. So I have some cosmetics to play around with anyway to make them look all Christmassy and happy. And like that, we're back on the beat doing the quest. Gotta go look for the statues and the statue stockpiles. To find out, we need to go recover the statues near the shore. Quick fast travel doesn't do the job and it just puts me on a black screen. A quick jump, hop, and skip later to get me out of that black screen and respawn me back into the actual overworld. We then have to just run around for a bit, kill some enemies, and then eventually it lets us fast travel to the shore, where we've got to recover the statues on the shore. Now, I don't know how this works exactly, but the second box I looted, which is the one in the middle, the middle box, was the one that had the statue in for me. Now, I don't know if this is a random occasion and you just find whichever one it is in, it just spawns in any of them. But if it works for you, just go to the middle box first, and that's the one I found it in. Don't know if it's random or not. It would be shocking if it wasn't random, but it's worth a shot. Returning to the lad that gave us the quest, we'll finish it off, and that is finding courage completed, meaning I don't think there's any more quests for me to do within Eventide. So you must be asking yourself, Ashley, what is there left to do? Well, it's simple. There's many things left to do. You've got a whole shop of inventory to clean out. Also, the new update that is coming out soon, they've put it on Discord. I don't know. Let me just go check real quick. It doesn't say it's live yet, so you'll have to wait on it. They are increasing the drops for the rupee things that you get, the rubles. The currency you use for the Christmas event, they're increasing the drops in the dungeons and stuff, so it might be a lot better for you now to go do that once that patches drop. But you got a whole inventory of shop to clear for the Christmas event. Currently, I'm just working towards getting all the helmets for the characters. I've got 2 of them. I've cleared all the emotes and stuff out and whatnot, as you can see on screen at the moment. I've cleared most of the store out of the things I want. I'm not really bothered about the apartment-related content and stuff. I don't really go in my apartment, ever. So I'm not bothered about it. I bought all the cool stuff, like the snow globe and stuff that makes it snow in your apartment and whatnot, but I'm not clearing it out completely. I don't really see the point. So, why do you do this? How do you get all this currency? Well, you can go sit at Plunderfoot for one when there's a big group there and grind all the items you need. I think it's the crates that you need from Plunderfoot from his presence to go craft the items to get into the dungeons. Once you've got all the dungeon like coins pretty much that you need to go through them, you want to go through them and do every event you possibly can. The achievements tied to the events and stuff like that, like complete 100 events within the dungeon, complete like 20 events of destroying the cubes, 20 events of opening the chest, 20 events of destroying the crystals. Now that the present one works, I'm pretty sure there'll be achievements are tied to that, so on and so forth. You just keep doing these over and again, and those achievements seem to give a shit ton of rubies and the currency and stuff, whatever the currency is called. I'm just going to call them rubies. They give a shit ton of currency, and that is what you're going to be using for the majority of time to fund your adventures through buying the Christmas related content. But there's not much else past this point. It is just grinding the event and the boss and stuff to give you more currency, and just to keep grinding that over and over again if you want all the stuff from the Christmas event, as well as just doing Plunderfoot over and over again to get all his related stuff. Like he will drop chests and presents and stuff that you can give into the merchant inside the Eventide Vale and stuff. So it's all up to you what you do past this point. I'm pretty much grinded out for this. I'm going to go, while I'm on holiday, I'll probably put some hours in just to get some of the last few helmets that I want for characters that I may or may not play, and then I'll probably call it a day at the Eventide event. But that is the Eventide event as a whole, and I purely did enjoy it. It was very fun. I would recommend it. It was a quick romp, but you can lose hours in running Eventide Vale over and over again. It's a quick, fast, hectic adventure that lets you do a lot of things at once. I do really enjoy it. With that means we got to go to the other bit of content. All the weapons that were added and the awakenings that were brought to you by version 0.2, as well as the changes to all the other things, which we'll run through quickly now. So this is where the big grind is going to be. You're going to be going through the same boss over and over and over again, and if you don't like that kind of stuff, I respect it. I don't mind it. It can be a bit annoying when you just don't get a single drop for super long, but I'm not bothered by it. I managed to get the Tempest up by 1 star, and Silo is nearly up by 1. But as you can see on the screen, I've sped this up massively. You literally just keep jumping in and out of the boss and just keep doing it over and over again. Some bosses are better than others. The Trial of Light, for example, just has a lot of waiting around, waiting for enemies to spawn and stuff. A lot of guff involved, so the Trial of Lingering Light is an annoying one to have to do, and you need it for the Tempest and Silo. So that's going to be a long grinding endeavor to get yourself involved in, but the other bosses normally aren't too bad. Anyone who has to grind the Dread Legion, my heart goes out to you. That shit needs a rework. Airship Syndicate, please just remove that and completely rework how that boss works. It was a good ambition, a good idea. It just doesn't work in execution. You should realize this by now, and we should be moving forward and forth and getting rid of that shit and putting something better in there before we move forward with new content. But that's just my opinion. The actual weaponry they've added themselves look pretty cool. The Scythe, the Greatsword, the Burst Rifle, which I was hoping was a shotgun but wasn't, and there was a dagger. I don't have any of these weapons, so I just want to make that clear now. Oh, there's a sword and shield as well, I'm pretty sure. I don't have any of these weapons, and I don't intend to get any of them because none of them like entice me in any way. They seem interesting to me. I might get them at some point. The Scythe seems the coolest to me with its ability of holding it down for as long as you want to do as much damage as you want. That seems cool. Except from that, none of them to scream, I really want to try this weapon. Maybe the Greatsword seems like my kind of Greatsword, but that's about it. I'm just focused on getting my shotgun and shit upgraded, and that's where my focus is going to be for the next, like, few play sessions I do, trying to get Silo and my shotgun fully maxed and stuff. But also a change in 0.2 that I really do like is they've changed how expeditions look now. They don't feel as stale, they feel different, they look unique. All of them have new events and stuff going for them. Like the pit that I had to run a couple of times for some mats was actually like a fun run because it wasn't the same shit I've been doing for God knows how long. I do like the changes 0.2 has brought to the table, and I'm not going to go through all the romps that 0.2 brought because it is a massive list, and at some point I might go through them in a video, but I doubt it. It was a massive list of changes, and I'm not up to the task to do that. So the Awakening seems cool, and I can finally go get these sets that I want on a higher level. The Awakening seems cool for the weapon. Everything seems like it's going great. So it's all up on the uppy level, and I'm very happy with what 0.2 has brought to the table. I think they've done an amazing job at fully reworking the game from menus to expeditions to hunts to weaponry to awakenings for weapons and characters. I think they've done an amazing job, and the Eventide event on top of that makes it a perfect package, and I think they did a really good job. That was my full adventure though through Eventide and a bit of 0.2. Next, Wayfinder Wednesdays is going to be talking about the raid, because the raid is coming out soon, and I want to give my thoughts and opinions on how I want the raid to work. I've said a lot of times how I want it to work, but I don't want to just give like my one take. There's multiple ways I think they could do a raid, and there's multiple ways I think you can go about it, especially in a Wayfinder way. As well as I want to give my ideas on mythics and mythic plus / endless content that they seem to be wanting to put into the game, and I have interesting takes on that. That'll be in the next Wayfinder Wednesday, which I'll be just recording not long after this. So if any news or information comes out, I'll try and cover it. But like I said, I'm going away in a week, and I won't have my mic or anything because I just don't have the room to take it. So it won't be a great recording, and it won't be a great voiceover or anything. I'll have a headset with me and stuff. I'm still taking the laptop because I still do want to play games and stuff in my free time, because that's just what I do in my free time. I play games. So I'm making sure everything's done. You're going to have this Wayfinder Wednesday, and then you're going to have a Christmas video, then you're going to have another Wayfinder Wednesday, and then you're going to have the New Year's video. And I should be back around about the time the New Year's video will be out, so I can start getting videos out for the new year. After the new year, like once we've done the New Year video and we're going to the new year, I am going to discuss the ideas that are going forward within the channel. Next year is the plan, seeming I've missed it many times. I want to do the Bloodborne video. I want to do the Cyberpunk video. They are super late, but I still want to get them done. Except from that, there's not much else to talk about this. Thank you guys for watching this Wayfinder Wednesday, episode 14. 15 will be about the raid. You'll have a Christmas video and a New Year's video. I don't know what they're going to be about. My New Year's tradition was to play Ascension on COD Zombies. I'll probably just still keep that going. Until then, though, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.